Alright, how we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and welcome back to Fire Wizard Harry. Okay, this is the Fire Wizard setup that I put together. There's probably going to be greater renditions with higher DPS and whatever have you, but I've made this as simple as possible, and as relatively fun as possible. So the goal is to camp fire, throw fireball, make dog do ignite, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it, honestly. You just kind of do the fire wizard thing. You huck fireballs at things and shit dies. As kind of the plan. So, we are using full marauder. You can use full berserker if you can manage to stay off the floor. And then it has Relic of Mistburn, which is a new one, I'm pretty sure, but it is really cool and really useful for this setup. So when you grant yourself might, you grant yourself more might. I know. Difficult. Gain increased critical strike chance while above the might threshold, of which we can achieve relatively easily. This can do 25 might on its own. Here is the trait line. We are using Fire, Arcane, Evoker. So burning we inflict has increased damage, increased duration, and crits will have a chance to also inflict burning. We'll gain power from Fire Attunement. We'll have relatively good crit chance across the board. And if you're using Berserker, you get even higher crit chance because of the stat lines. And then we will also have power overwhelming, so you'll get power and then more power above 10 might stacks. And then fire weapon skill reduction and inferno, which makes it so burning you inflict scales off your power instead of off your condition damage. You could run this celestial as well. I don't know if it's any better, but you can just run berserker and go inferno here. And then arcane, we're gonna run top line for crits have a chance to inflict burning. So then, you know, well. Crits have a chance to inflict condition based on attunement. We're camping fire 24/7, so extra burn. Basically the exact same node, but again, Keck W. And then this line is useless because we have 0 disables. I mean, unfortunately, we're disabled for playing Elementalist, but the rest of these are kind of underwhelming. Arcane Resurrection's probably useful for, like, resing people in open world. Getting an extra shield when you get an elite is literally the only other thing that does anything useful in that trait line. And then you will dodge roll and cast a fire skill. Or, alternatively, you can opt for Arcane Lightning, which will make it so when you use Arcane Echo, you will get Quickness, which you could then also use to do Meteor Shower and have the cast of that come out a little bit faster. And then we go into the bottom line. Unfortunately, all of these kind of blow cheeks. You never want to press your healing skill, so Blazing Restoration doesn't really give you that much value. Because we're just going to use Signet of Restoration for heal every time you cast a spell, since we're casting pretty much 24/7. This counts on auto attacks, because this counts as a spell. Yes, don't ask me why. So, after you use a familiar skill, we'll just get a bonus arc of Chain Lightning, which we're using really often. And then Fiery Might. For burning you inflict deals increased damage because reasons. Gain might when you inflict burning, and then might duration is increased if you have the fox. And then you'll get increased condition damage when you use your familiar skill, and then specialized elements to force you into pure fire. So how does this work? You press this button. That's pretty much it. So now I'm gonna do this without alacrity, but I will throw alacrity on in the console as well and try and mess around with that. I haven't actually done the alacrity rotation, so I'll do it live for you just to fuck around. So the way this works is you use your familiar skill right here, and you'll see that I did my animation and he does his animation. That is actually very integral to how you're going to be playing the Evoker overall. Because if you screw up, you'll literally waste stacks, and you can wind up screwing every single version of Evoker, no matter what you play, if you don't play it optimally, unfortunately. So, reason for that is if you use an extra skill, and then you use your thing, you'll see you don't get the extra charge. It flipped over to the empowered version, but you don't get the extra charge if you fuck it up. I'll just show you again, just for showcase. You use it here, and then you use it, you don't get the extra charge. Like so. So you need to make sure that you're weaving the ignite at the perfect time to be able to get more value. Now, that being said, you can use it in the middle of an animation before it finishes. Oh, you have to use it before you use that particular spell. Okay, well, good to know. But you can weave it at just the right time for, like so, to be able to get the charge on Lava Font if you use your Ignite before the spell goes down. So, a little bit of minor tech that you're going to need to work with and work in between while playing the spec. That'll apply for pretty much any spec across the board, or any rendition of Evoker, while you're utilizing the doggo. So, another thing you probably saw is that the familiar skill flips over after it charges for the third time, and then you don't have to do anything else for it. So, you use your staff skill, and then you use your staff skill, and you use your staff skill, and then you hit your Arcane Echo to hit your staff skill again, and then here's the important part: when you get the third charge, you get the fireball, and then it automatically goes, and then hits the other fireball. So you have to kind of keep track of that to be able to get optimal value out of it. Thankfully, it doesn't need another set of two spells. Well, 3 spells, but 2 spells because you're running specialized. This will also make it so when you use that ultra empowered one, you'll get cooldown reduction. Now, one thing I actually want to test here. Does this work? No, it doesn't. Okay, well, good to know. I literally had no idea if that would work. I wanted to see if the ultra empowered skill from the elite would actually proc the specialized elements cooldown reduction, but no. Sag. Okay, so the way you go about running this for optimal DPS is, let me dump the ignite real fast. Ignite him, doggo. Okay, hang on. Let me reset the golem. Respawn. There we go. Okay. So, you want to try and rotate as many ignites as is possible, and then you want to get to high might, and then use your Fox's Fury to do more damage per might. You want to use your Arcane Echo, which will allow you to use your next weapon skill immediately afterwards. You want to use this on Flame Burst. You think you'd want to use it on Lava Font, but you can't actually stack Lava Fonts for whatever fucking reason. And using it on Burning Retreat is literally useless. Meteor Shower is bugged currently with the familiar, and sometimes it will not give you a charge, even if you go through the entire cast animation. So it's just not worth the gamble, because it's literally broken. Like I said, be happy you have the dog in the first place, because it was breaking the servers. So, what we're going to do is we're going to drop the elite first, or you could actually drop the elite later to spread the burn and what have you, depending on how you're doing things. But in this case, drop the elite first, and then we're going to want to go and burn through all of our spells, get our ignite, then we're going to use, I fucked up already, I'm actually insanely good. Uh, 12k. FW. So, what I basically did there was dump my entire fucking kit on his face, and yeah, I mean, Elementalist, in a nutshell. Okay, so, I'll try and do that a little slower this time and explain it. So, what you want to try and do is line up your Arcane Echo with Flame Burst, because then you can get 2 very quick Flame Bursts back to back, which will allow you to trigger your doggo. He'll do his little ignite. You want to then use your Lava Font and Flame Burst together. Lava Font and Burning Retreat together, rather. Now, the reason for that is if you're actually in open world, the mob will follow you through the Lava Font and the Burning Retreat, like, path, if you walk them in the correct line. So, if you do something like this, the mob will follow you all the way this way, and then get burned the entire way down. Some people literally don't know that, but, you know, there you go, Merry Christmas. And then, yeah, you want to try and keep high might, so then use your Fox's Fury, which that animation looks turbo stupid when you're sidewalking, so I hope they fix that at some point, so you're not literally drifting. But, you know, whatever. And then you can use your Signet of Fire pretty much whenever you'd like, or you just don't press it if you want to keep the crit. I don't actually know what's more value, because you only get 2 stacks, but you also do relatively good damage, and it's a 12-second cooldown. So, alternate it in whenever you'd like. And, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the spec. It's as easy as I could relatively make it. So, I'll show you one more time. Respawn. And, well, We good? Golem's good? Cool. Okay. Elite. Use our second ability. Use our second ability. There we go. Roll. Reset. Now we have the reasonable might. Give it a second. Use this. It'll reset. We can get all of our spell cooldowns back. Get our might back. Use ignite again. Dodge roll. Meteor shower because we're in Africa. Don't get a charge because God hates us. And then we just continue. Use our reset. Use our reset. And go from there. Use our reset here. And that bench is about 12k. Meteor shower, don't get a charge because God hates us. Actually, no, we will get a charge this time. Oh, nope, fucking God hates us. I take it back. I was right the first time. And yeah, that is the setup. That's pretty much it. Like I said, one last time, there's your trait lines. And then full Marauder with a Relic of Mistburn. In here, we have damage crit chance. You can also use Frenzy in the open world. Frenzy will give you cooldown reduction for Flame Burst and Levifaunt. Let me wing on a lack.
Use the console to begin combat testing. If you have
And let's test this for the fuck of it, shall we? So the reason for this is that with a lack, you can literally just chain these two, most likely. So, same thing. I fucking missed one. Actually, godlike. I'll literally animation cancel that because it's not worth finishing. And we pull 14. Which would be 15 if I was in full Berserker gear. I wasted a charge. I'm a fucking trash can. You see what I mean? This is how it goes. Why did I not get an Arcane Echo? Okay, well, I'm literally moving too fast for my own fucking brain. Love that. You can also store the charges on the final one, which is nice. Reset all my CDs. You can CDs nuts. Stack Levifonts. And there you go. Like I said, with a lack, you can literally just chain everything without much issue. So that bench is between 13 to 15, depending if you overwrite yourself. And, yeah. That is the Elementalist experience.